المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وقدوتنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, first we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again for granting us the tawfiq and the ability to have performed our Maghrib Salaah wal Jama'ah. Alhamdulillah. We make dua Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our Salah wal Jama'ah. We make dua Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the masajid beloved to us. Ameen Rabbal Alameen. This evening, inshallah, we will continue with our tafsir lessons. And this evening, surah that we will be discussing and actually starting the surah is Surah At-Teen, famous surah that we recite. We recite this many times in Salah. And Ibn Kathir rahimahullah mentions one of the virtues. He says it is narrated that Bara bin Azib radiallahu anhu said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to recite it in one of his raka'at while traveling, Surah At-Teen. And he said that I never heard anyone with a nicer voice or recitation than him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We can only imagine. Sometimes a person, we reflected, I wonder what was it like to live in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I wonder what was it like to look into the Mubarak face of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As when we read the description, the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, when they give description of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that everything was just beautiful about him. The way he spoke, everything he done, everything was special about Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even the smell of the sweat of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was something special. As I mentioned, Sayyidina Aisha radiallahu anha, she used to mix the sweat of Rasulullah with the perfume, and it would enhance the smell of her perfume. This was the effect of the sweat of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we can only imagine what was it like to listen to the qira'ah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I don't think there would have been any favorite qari but than Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Today we all prefer the different qira'at, the different qari reciting. Imagine if we heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we find Bara bin Azib says that for every traveling that we went with Rasulullah, he wouldn't eat in one of the raka'at of salah, he would recite Surah At-Teen. So Surah At-Teen was a surah frequently recited by Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and other narrations also indicate not only while traveling but in other salawat Rasul sallam also used to recite Surah At-Teen. And we find that the surah, as the ulama and mufassirun has mentioned, the surah was revealed in Makkah al-Mukarramah, the early stages of Islam. And as we mentioned, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to recite this while traveling. And as many of the surah in Amma Yatasa that we have discussed, we all can remember the different oaths Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes. Many of the surah, if not most of the surah in Amma Para, Allah starts off, إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انْفَطَرَتْ وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الْبُرُوجِ. Allah takes an oath with the different things. And many of the things were Fajr. Many of the things were from the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in the opening verses of the chapter At-Teen, it is no different to the other surah. Allah takes an oath on 4 things. And as we have learned and we have mentioned many times that whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins a surah with an oath, it indicates to the significance of that matter, of the thing Allah is indicating or taking an oath with. So looking at the first 3 ayat of Surah At-Teen this evening, we find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starting أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين. So Allah takes an oath with 4 things. The first one, Allah takes an oath by the fig, which is a fruit we enjoy, delicious fruit, whether it is fresh or whether it is dry. So the fig tree and the fig and the olive, says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, والزيتون وطور سينين. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath with وطور سينين, Mount Sinai. And this is the mountain which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala communicated with Nabi Musa alayhi salam. It is a place where Allah communicated with Nabi Musa alayhi salam. And then Allah وَهَذَا الْبَلَدِ الْأَمِينَ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath with the secured city which is Makkah al-Mukarramah. Makkah al-Mukarramah. And As I've mentioned before, that when Allah takes an oath, we should always reflect on why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath with it. If Allah takes an oath with the heavens, with the stars, it is for us to open our eyes, for us to reflect over it. Allah takes an oath with the camel. Allah asks us in the Quran, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ? Are you not going to ponder in the meanings of the Quran? So likewise when it comes to the oath. So the first oath Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes an oath with is the fig. And we find a narration regarding the fig where Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that if I could say that a fruit was sent down from heaven to this earth, I would say that it is the figs. Because the heavens fruit is no stones. Eat it as it cures this hemorrhoids and it is useful for treating gout. Imagine in this fruit, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the oath Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes regarding the fig. In this narration, it is mentioned in many other narrations. One narration mentions Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam one day was given a amount of figs. And the Sahaba radiallahu anh, they were sitting in the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then Rasulullah gave them the figs and he started giving them the fig and he said, eat of this. For indeed this is a blessed food from Allah, a blessed fruit. It cures many diseases. And like in Maghrieb Quran, many Mufassirun mentioned that the fig and the olive, it also is symbolic to the place where they grow the most. And that is Philistine, Palestine and Syria. And not only are they blessed in themselves, but the places they grow in is blessed. Why? Because this is the places where the Anbiya and the Prophets of Allah was born. Those who traveled to Palestine, now recently they would tell us that so many of the Anbiya is buried and so many of the Sahaba is buried there. And so many histories preserved in these places. So not only are they blessed trees and blessed fruit, but they grow in blessed places. Also says in Ma'arif al-Quran. And so Allah takes an oath with the fig. And if we go study the modern research and what they've discovered of the fig, we will be amazed of the list of things they give that for what the fig is good for and how it will assist a person's health. And then Allah takes an oath with the olive. And again the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam where the Prophet said, eat olive oil and massage yourself with it. Meaning rub it on your body or rub it on your skin and rub it on your hair. For it comes from a blessed tree. For it comes from a blessed tree. And we learn, even in the Sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we can only imagine what was the quality and the pureness of the oil at that time. In our times, we get different grades. And from amongst the best of grades of olive oil we find imported from Palestine. So, olive oil, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, olive itself, not only the fruit, it's beneficial to eat, but the olive oil, to use the oil as well. Rub it on the body is good for the skin. Rub it on the hair. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, when the Sahaba explained, the Rasulullah would say, used to rub olive oil on his hair. Sometimes he would leave an oil stain on his head again. So olive oil is good for the hair as well. And then I've listed the 10 reasons we can read through, we can research for what olive oil is good for. That is proven. The health points of olive oil for, number one, they say weight loss. Just many of us struggle with weight loss. So it's a good start in bringing the olives into your diet. It reduces pain, improves skin and hair health. Cancer prevention, cardiovascular benefits. It aids the digestive tract, the stomach, and it also is a good source of iron. Improve eye health, and it reduces allergies and many other benefits of this one fruit. And Allah takes an oath with this fruit, again indicating to and wanting to bring our awareness that when Allah takes an oath with something, and not just Allah taking an oath, Allah wants us to reflect over it, Allah wants us to ponder in it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath on Mount Sinai, and as we mentioned, this is the mount where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala communicated with Nabi Musa alayhi salam. We can only imagine what the scene was like, what the experience was like. Imagine Rasulullah's experience when he met Jibreel alayhi salam. Imagine when Rasulullah met Jibreel, Rasulullah ran down the mount. Why? He was in shock. He was filled with fear. Imagine meeting Allah and hearing the voice of Allah, communicating directly with Nabi Musa. What was the heart of Nabi Musa going through? So Allah communicated, and if you Google or if you go onto the internet and find the location of Mount Sinai, you will find there's many documentaries. One interesting one is that also that the Saudi, they claim that Mount Sinai is in Saudi Arabia, and they all documented about 25 minutes where they discuss the proofs. So that's another topic on its own. But these places Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has preserved for us to ponder over. And all of these four things Allah has taken oath with indicates to the greatness of these and the blessedness of these oaths. And then we don't need to discuss much, but the third or the fourth, the last oath Allah takes with the secured city, that is Makkah al-Mukarramah. We all know the virtue of Makkah al-Mukarramah, the first house of Allah that was built there. It was built by Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam and his son Ismail alayhi salam. It is the birthplace of the greatest of the Anbiya, the greatest of the creation of Allah, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everything about it is blessed. Everything about Makkah al-Mukarramah, it is a blessed place. And so, my beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, what do we learn and what is the lesson we take? The next time we read Surah At-Tin, the first one to reflect over the oaths Allah take. Reflect over the oaths and make a little bit more in-depth research. What is the oaths all about? Why is Allah taking an oath with the different things? The second lesson we can learn is we take and implement the sunnah of Rasulullah. Many of us who travel and we make jam salah and we make qasr salah. Next time when we stand in salah, remember or want to thinking, what am I going to recite next? Recite Wat-Tini wa Zaytun. And while we recite, we reflect over the words of Rasulullah and over the meaning of Surah Wat-Tin. And at the same time following the sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also the third lesson we can take is introducing and bringing these blessed fruit into our diet, that it become part of our diet, so that when we eat it, we remind our children that this is something Rasul sallam, Allah takes an oath, this is something Rasul sallam used to eat. It is healthy for the body, it is healthy for the skin, and all the benefits. And speak to them about how Allah takes an oath in the Quran about it. And also the sanctity of the places Allah takes an oath with. Makkah al-Mukarramah and Mount Sinai. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a tawfiq and understanding. Wa akhiru da'wan alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah.